Hi, this is a live demonstration of TwitTrends, Sentiment Simplified. So TwitTrends is pretty much a cool machine learning project with the full stack development pipeline that was built by some students here in UT Austin. And so we built this in pretty much a few weeks for the final project, and we used a variety of tools to get this accomplished. So as you're seeing right now, this is the front end, which is done in React, but we also had a back end that was written in Python Flask, and we also stored information with MongoDB. So TwitTrends gives you sentiment, and so with that, we're doing it through machine learning. And so the machine learning models that we used were FastText and BERT. So there are two types of data that we stored inside of our database. BERT was used to score the live information because it's a lot slower of a model and we had less data. But the static information would take way too long to score with BERT, so we used FastText, which was a little bit less accurate in terms of the scoring, but it was totally worth it because BERT would have taken way too long. So the sentiment that is scored is between 0 and 1, with 1 being closer to positive, and the number is going to be some decimal that represents the probability of that tweet being positive. And so now I'm going to demonstrate just a little bit of what this application can do. So right now, let's start out with the very basic, the yearly trends. So right here, this is an area where you can select a topic. And so before that, I just wanted to showcase some of the error handling that we have with form validation. So if you try to submit right now, you can't actually put in anything. It'll tell you which items you need to put in red before you can do any type of data displaying. So right now, let's select Trump and select 2020. So this gives us a graph of Trump in 2020, and it is a really cool looking graph because it shows you sentiment right here. It's dynamic. It'll give you exactly what the score change was between month. So now let's add a comparison for Biden. That's a pretty logical comparison right there. So as you can see, it looks like Biden has an overall more positive sentiment, but Trump has a higher slope, so it's been increasing a little bit higher. So I just wanted to highlight some of those things, including that you can have both comparisons and non-comparisons, and you can pick whatever topic you want. So now let's demonstrate the next tab over, which is monthly trends. Monthly trends is going to be the same thing as yearly trends, except it's going to show you on the x-axis the days instead of showing you the months aggregate. So let's start out by trying to see Fox News for 2020 in May. So as you can see, it looks like Fox News has had some sort of decline over time in these past few days in the month of May. And pretty much what you're seeing here is average sentiment aggregated per that day. So these are all the tweets, which is in the thousands averaged together, and that is the total sentiment score right there. So let's add a comparison with CNN, because I feel like that's a very appropriate comparison. So now you can see a really cool looking graph where Fox News has an overall higher sentiment, but at the very end, CNN has peaked a little bit here. So again, just similar to the other graph, there's form validation, and so it'll tell you if you don't have anything submitted, it'll tell you that you can't do anything, and that there's nothing there. And so this is just a really cool demonstration of the monthly trends. Now let's move over to the daily trends. So this is just a little bit different in that now you can select the exact day that you want to analyze. So if I wanted to do May 10th and I wanted to pick a topic, let's do something different. Let's do Elon Musk. Let's just run that and see what we get. So now this gives you the hour by hour breakdown of the opinions over time. And so this is really cool because you can see directly when somebody makes a tweet or they make some sort of controversial statement, you can see how that affects them on the hour. And so let's compare that to quarantine, just out of curiosity. So this is a really cool looking graph because now you get to see that people within the hours of the days, when they seem a bit more positive about quarantine, when they're tweeting more negative, and then you can change any time, any day, right here on the calendar. So the last thing that I want to show off is the random tweets. So this is just kind of showcasing what this thing can do and what we're storing in our database. So right now, if we select a topic, let's say, China, let's select China, and we select negative. Now we can select exactly how many tweets we want to see and play around with tweets, like live tweets in that sentiment. So if you look here, if we're selecting negative, there's some controversial things on here, but you can tell that a lot of the rhetoric here is not very positive because we have a very negative threshold by what our model scored. And so let's pick something else like CNN and positive, and do 100 tweets. It might take a little bit longer. There you go. So now you have 100 positive tweets about CNN right here, accessible to the user. So this was a really fun project. I think all of us learned a lot, and we just had a really good time building it. If you guys have any questions about the project and you want to reach out to us and learn a little bit more about machine learning, the models that we used, check out our Medium article linked below. Thanks.